What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to get into my Week 22 NBA Power Rankings. Just a few more weeks, and we are into the playoffs in the play-in tournament. Crazy that it's already came to this. But anyway, let's dive into the rankings here. Starting out with number 30, staying at the same spot, we have the Houston Rockets. Do I have to stay on this team very long? Same team that I've been talking about for the entire year, so they're going to be staying at the same spot. As well as number 29, the Pistons. Again, same team I've been talking about all year. I mean, these two teams, just the same young team, inexperienced, and not a good team this season. They're the worst teams in basketball, and it's close between those two. But then number 28, we have the Spurs again. I mean, I've been saying the same things, it feels like, every week with San Antonio. Just a bad, really bad team with a really good coach, and that's about it for San Antonio this season. Number 27, we have the Charlotte Hornets. Wherever they are. Without LaMelo Ball, this team is not good at all. This team could even be worse than San Antonio, but I'm giving them their respect. So they're going to be at number 27, staying at the same spot. I'm not going to go through these teams' weak performances here because Spurs, Pistons, and Rockets are eliminated. Hornets are on the brink of getting eliminated from the playoffs. So I'm not going to be looking into all that. I'm just going to be saying what there is. But then we're going to go to number 26. Yeah. We have the Orlando Magic. Now we'll start to get into the analysis more on these teams. But the Magic this week are going to go 1 and 2. Just kind of been the same thing for the Magic. Just kind of degressing a bit over these past few weeks, going 1 and 2, 2 and 2. It's not going to cut it if you want to make a run to make the play-in tournament. And I've been keeping them in this bad tier all along. You could say that they're definitely on a tier above over the Hornets, the Spurs, Pistons, Rockets, but I'm not going to make a whole separate tier for the Magic, so I'm just going to put them in here because I don't think that they're in the hunt tier. But good season for Paolo Banchero. He should be the Rookie of the Year. I think that Walker Kessler might even be better than him, but Paolo Banchero is going to get it, I think. But yeah, the Magic are going to sit at 26. All right, so that's the bad tier. Let's go to the in the hunt tier. Number 25, staying at the same spot. We have the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers this week go 2 and 1, so not a bad week for Indy. But yeah, the Pacers trying to slide into the playoffs right now. The East is wide open. They're only 2 games. They're only 2 games back on the next seed, which is the Wizards, I believe. So they still have a chance right now, trying to fight for every seeding. But it's been kind of a rough ride so far for Indiana. And then dropping down 5 spots here, we have the Portland Trailblazers at 24. The Trailblazers, I mean, they have just lost a few in a row here. They go 0-3, I believe. Yeah, 0-3. So Damian Lillard, I mean, teams are starting to figure out this team that it's the Damian Lillard show and nothing really else. That's really what the Trailblazers are as a team, like it or not. They're just not playing great right now, and I don't. A spectacular season from Damian Lillard, I think, is going to end in a elimination from the postseason, just not even making the playoffs, which would suck for the Blazers because they're wasting Damian Lillard's prime right now for the past few years. Obviously, Lillard was injured last year, but anyway. Number 23, jumping up a spot here, we have the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz kind of were more competitive this week after they were just playing horrible a few weeks ago. But the Jazz this week go 2 and 1. So they find themselves at 33 and 36, right in the mix for the postseason. They're just a game back on the number 10 seed. So it's tight between Utah. If they can get healthy, if they can get Colin Sexton back, if they can get Jordan Clarkson healthy, this team's dangerous. But without them, are we taking the Jazz too seriously? I'm not sure. So, yeah, Utah needs to get healthy here. Lauri Markkanen, obviously a dominant player, but right now the Jazz are trying to fight for playoff position. All right, and then number 22, dropping down a spot, we have the Washington Wizards. The Wizards this week are going to go 1 and 2. So Washington, not a bad week, but not a good week either. Just an inconsistent team all season long, as I've been mentioning. Basically the same thing. Wizards here. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of upside, but they haven't put it together all season, and that's why they find themselves now out of the play-in tier because I think that number 21 jumping up a spot is better here with the Chicago Bulls. They're going to be in the play-in tier here. The Bulls this week go 1-0. They only played one game. So yeah, I mean the Bulls I think have more potential than the Wizards. That's why I think that they're slightly better with Levine, with DeRozan, Vucevic. Obviously the Bulls, Wizards got Beal, Porzingis, Kuzma, obviously, but I think that the Bulls' potential's a bit more. Both teams not very good defenses. Both teams can have high-powered offenses, but we can see if that's enough to win. Obviously, you don't want to meet DeRozan and Levine and yeah, all those players. You don't want to meet the Bulls in the playoffs. If they get hot, they could beat you, or they can at least go tight with you for a few games. But yeah, the Bulls going to be jumping up a spot at number 21. And then jumping up 3 spots at 20, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're going to sit down in the hunt tier here. The Thunder this week go 3-0. It's a really good week for OKC. Yeah, I mean Oklahoma City. You could say what you want about them. They're a young team, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a phenomenal player here. This Thunder roster, they're figuring things out. They're playing good. It's a well-coached team, I think, at this point, and I think the Thunder they're going to be a dangerous team in the future here. Yeah, I believe in this Thunder program or team that they built here. But will they make the play-in tournament this year? It's very tight. Any team from the Jazz, even the Trailblazers, can make the play-in here. But, yeah, right now I think that they're not one of the 10 best teams in the Western Conference. But that's just my opinion. But they're going to be jumping up 3 spots to number 20. Then number 19, dropping down a spot here, we have the Toronto Raptors. They're going to be in the play-in tier as we end in the hunt tier there. The Raptors this week are going to go 1-1. So, yeah, I mean, the Raptors just same old Raptors, well-coached team. They got Siakam, really good player, Van Vliet. The rest of this roster is solid. It's not anything special, but it's just solid. And that's really what the Raptors have been for a franchise in like 3 years or something. So that's what the Raptors are going to be, dropping down 1 spot. And then dropping down 2 spots here, we have the Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans go. Pelicans had a bad week here. They go 1-2, which isn't bad, but it's not good either. But New Orleans, obviously, they need Williamson back for Zion. They need Zion back bad. With him back, we saw what this team is with Zion on the floor. It's just they were one of the best teams in the West, so they really need him back right now. Without him, they're just a fringe play-in tier right now in the actual standings. They're out of the play-in tier, which is bad for New Orleans. But I think that they can get back up there with a few more. If they can get Williamson back and get healthy. Obviously, that you don't want to play the Pelicans in the first round if they're healthy. All right, and then jumping up 3 spots here, number 17, we have the LA Lakers, and they've been doing an excellent job ever since Anthony Davis has came back. Like I said last video, ever since Davis has came back, we've started to understand, what the Lakers are. I mean, we've started to understand how good Davis actually is. We haven't seen him in a while because he's been banged up, but Anthony Davis is a phenomenal player. We got to remember that because I think a lot of us forgot about it. I even did for a while there. But anyway, yeah, the Lakers go 2-2 this week. So not a bad week, but with some of these teams in the West kind of falling here, that's a good week for the Lakers here. They're right tied up with a bunch of teams for the play-in tier in the standings. So that's good for LA. If LeBron James is back again, you don't want to meet LeBron James in the first round at all. I mean, that's probably one of the dangerous 7 or 8 seeds or whatever the Lakers get if they make the playoffs. You don't want to meet this Lakers team in the playoffs. All right, and then number 16, jumping up a spot here, we have the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets this week go, I believe they went 2-2. So, again, same with the Lakers, not a bad week for Brooklyn. Yeah, I think that the Nets are just, at this point, just a cohesive team that has some decent pieces and definitely with the record from earlier, going to make the playoffs. I think in the play-in, but without without obviously they trade away Kevin Durant and Kyrie, I think a lot of people wrote them off because we obviously know that they have some they still have some pieces there, and that's what's led them to have a decent stretch without KD and Kyrie. So that's what the Brooklyn Nets are right now. They're going to be jumping up a spot here at number 16, and then number 15 staying at the same spot. We have the Atlanta Hawks. And the Hawks I don't even know what to do with this team because they go 1-2 this week. I mean, I'm just frustrated with this Atlanta Hawks team because you want to say that this team is, this team can break out with Trae Young. They just got Quinn Snyder as their coach. DeJounte Murray. You would say this team should be at least playoff tier, probably a contenders if they're on, but it's just not worked out. Trae Young hasn't been himself this season. He hasn't played as good. DeJounte Murray obviously had a better year last season, and it's just not working out for the Atlanta Hawks, and they're going to be battling out with a lot of teams here for the playoffs. And then dropping down a spot here, we have the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, this Kyrie Irving trade couldn't have gone any worse so far. I mean, it's just been bad for Dallas. They've just been a bad team, man. I'm going to be honest. Their defense just sucks. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving just not meshing together. Obviously, we know their potential. If those two are, if those two play on paper, if they play really good, I mean, this team is one of the best teams in the NBA. But no, I mean, this defense is just so bad. I mean, it's kind of laughable at this point for the Mavericks. The Mavericks I believe they went 0-2 this week. Yeah, 0-2. So not a good week for Dallas at all. I mean, they got to figure things out. And then jumping up a spot here at 13, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves this week go 1-1, so not a bad week for Minnesota. Just waiting for Cat to come back for them. Rudy Gobert, obviously, I think he's been playing much better as of late. He's getting too much hate, I think, at this point. Obviously, the Rudy trade with the Jazz was probably a really bad trade for Minnesota, especially in the long run. They could have got Walker Kessler, which at this point is playing better than Rudy this season. But the trade for Mike Conley has helped this Timberwolves out because he knows Rudy. Obviously, he played with him for a while. So yeah, I think that the Timberwolves are still going to be a good team. Now the question is can Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert play together with Anthony Edwards? Of course, got to mention him. He's a phenomenal player. I don't know if it's going to work out, but we'll see if it can. So that is the play-in tier. Let's go to the playoffs tier, and then dropping down 5 spots here at number 12. We got not 5 spots. They're staying at the same spot. My bad. They dropped down 5 spots last week. But yeah, we have the Memphis Grizzlies here. The Grizzlies this week go 3-0. So I mean, good week for Memphis, I guess, without Ja. I mean, I don't know what I saw a report that Ja Morant might come back soon. I'm not entirely sure on that situation, but good week for Memphis. We've seen this team last year, especially when Morant got injured. This team steps up, and that's what they're doing right here. They're stepping up for this team. It's obviously a good young team, and I kind of underestimated that, dropping them down 5 spots. But yeah, there's still better teams ahead of them, I think, even with a 3-game winning streak. We'll have to see on what Ja Morant's situation is, and maybe if this team can get back into that contenders tier. But then number 11 here, staying at the same spot, we have the Miami Heat. All right, the Heat this week are going to go 2-1. So, yeah, I mean, Miami, this is tough. This playoffs year was tough for me to rank here because all these teams are very close. But, yeah, Miami, obviously, we know what they are. Jimmy Butler. This team can be a contender, but they've been inconsistent this season. Obviously, Bam Adebayo as well. Forgot to mention him. But, yeah, I mean, Miami, like I said, inconsistent. They're starting to get things together, though. And if this team can go in the playoffs, I mean, they're right now they're in the play-in tier because the Brooklyn Nets in really good record. But, yeah, Miami, if they can get into the playoffs, if they can, play as a 6 seed, like they did a couple years ago, but then again, they got swept by the Bucks. But if they could maybe play spoiler in the first round and Jimmy Butler gets hot, you do not want to play Miami Heat in the first round. I just need a few more weeks. Maybe this team can be a contender, maybe not. I don't really know right now. And then number 10, dropping down 3 spots here, we have the New York Knicks. This is just because of a few other teams I think deserving to come ahead of New York here. But the Knicks this week go 2-2. So, yeah, I mean, not a bad week for the Knicks at all. But I think that a couple teams need to come above the New York Knicks here. Or, sorry, the Knicks are going to only come down 1 spot. I actually read wrong. The Kings, we'll get to them later. But the Knicks come down 1 spot here. The New York Knicks, obviously, we got Julius Randle on this team. We got Jalen Brunson. It's a good team. Obviously, it's been a very good team this season. It's been a surprising season for the New York Knicks, and obviously, you don't want to play the Knicks. But do I think this team is a contender with Julius Randle and Brunson? No. In the Eastern Conference, I don't. I think that they could probably maybe win a first-round game. Do I think that they can go farther? Definitely not, according to my opinion. But, yeah, I mean, the New York Knicks, I do think that they're just a playoffs team at this point. They still need that. I don't know if you'd say superstar, but they just would need to get super lucky in the playoffs, I guess, for them to go far. But then moving on here, dropping down 2 spots here, we have the Sacramento Kings, kind of similar to the Knicks here. So Knicks dropping down 1 spot, Kings dropping down 2 spots here. That is what happened. But the Kings this week go 2-1. So yeah, the Kings not a bad week at all. But yeah, I feel like a couple teams deserve to come ahead of them. But yeah, I mean Sacramento. Obviously, it's been a phenomenal season. Been saying it basically every power rankings here. I am very happy that the Kings are going to make the playoffs to snap this streak. I mean, their fans have been through enough at this point, so we'll see if the Kings can get into that playoffs. I mean, right now it's pretty much a lock. Can they go far? Very similar to the Knicks. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, young team, have a very bright future, but this season I only see them really maybe probably winning 1 game in the playoffs, but then bowing out in the second round. That's really what I see the Kings as, but phenomenal year for them. But then jumping up 2 spots here, a more serious team that I could see in the contender tier here, the LA Clippers. The Clippers this week, I believe, went 2-0, yeah, or 1-0. Yeah, just 1-0. Only play 1 game, but yeah, I mean, the LA Clippers, man, they've won 3 straight. They're starting to get hot. Not Patrick Beverley. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Do I need to say any more? I mean, if those two are on together, this team is one of the best teams in the NBA. This team is definitely a contender, but they've been so inconsistent this season. It's been a very hard team to rank that I just don't know what to do with them. Right now, I'm not going to put them in the contender tier, but it's close. All right, so we're in the contenders tier now, and then dropping down, I believe, 3 spots here. We have the Phoenix Suns, and this is because of the Kevin Durant injury. I mean, we saw them without Kevin Durant. They are going back down to the mean. They went 0-3 this week, so not a good week at all for Phoenix. Not just only the losses, but losing Kevin Durant for 4 weeks, I think it was. That is really bad for the Suns. I mean, they need him back, obviously. If they want to be a true contender, I'm still going to give them the benefit of that because of Devin Booker. We've seen them and Chris Paul. We've seen this team be very good in the past, like last year. This year, without Kevin Durant, though, I mean, with Kevin Durant, it was going very well for a week, and then it stopped because of the injury. I'm going to give them 1 more week, though. If they can play well, I'm going to give it to them, but I don't know if they will. So the Suns are an interesting case. And then jumping up 2 spots here at number 6, we have the Golden State Warriors. They're going to go into the contender tier here. And the reason why I'm going to have the Warriors in the contender tier over, say, a team like the Clippers is because I believe in the Warriors more than the Clippers. They've proven it in the past with Stephen Curry. And obviously, Stephen Curry's been injured most of this year, so we haven't seen the full Warriors. Now we're getting to see that full Warriors team, the dangerous of this team that won a championship last season. And who wants to play Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and the former the reigning champs in the postseason? No one does. So that's why I do think this Warriors team is a contender. I think that they are good enough The Clippers, though, close to being contenders, but I think that the Warriors deserve it right now. And then dropping down or jumping up a spot here, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs this week go 2-0 or 2-1. So Cleveland, good week for Donovan Mitchell and this dominant Cavaliers team. Dominant offense, I should say. The defense is kind of iffy, but yeah, we know that the Cavaliers are dangerous if they get going on the offense side of the ball. It's very hard to stop them. So yeah, I really do like Cleveland. Watch out for the Cavs come postseason. And then jumping up a spot here, we at number 4, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers this week go 2-0. So yeah, the 76ers go 2-0. Obviously, 76ers have had a phenomenal season. With Joel Embiid and James Harden, I mean, it's been much better this season since from the beginning of the year. I mean, they're right with the Celtics. I actually think that they might be, I think, just a game back, maybe even tied with the Celtics here. Yeah, I mean, just a game back on the Celtics, which is crazy to think about. If the Celtics were just dominant earlier this season, they're kind of struggling here. But the Sixers, I was debating bringing them over the next 2 teams here, which obviously at this point, I think we know who number 1 is, but the Denver Nuggets and the Celtics. So, but I am going to have number 3 with the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets have been struggling lately. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak this week, going 0-3. So not good for Nikola Jokic's team, but obviously teams have these things, so I'm not going to take it too much upon them. But another week of this, I could see the Sixers coming in above them. Really, the difference here is because I think that Nikola Jokic is a better center than Joel Embiid. I don't know if that's too popular. I think it's the right judgment there, but I don't know what other people would say about that. But obviously, I still believe in the Nuggets. They've been dominant all season long. I think they're the best team in the West right now by far, with the Suns, Kevin Durant getting injured. So yeah, the Denver Nuggets, once KD comes back, then it could be a different situation. But right now, if the playoffs started here, the Nuggets would be the heavy favorites to get out of the West. All right, but then moving to number 2, staying at the same spot, as I mentioned, could have dropped this team below the Sixers and the Nuggets here. We had the Celtics. The Celtics this week go 1-1, which isn't bad, but they've been struggling lately. And the the Sixers are coming up, so are on the rise. So that is kind of a bad situation for the Celtics. I mean, they are falling behind from the number 1 Milwaukee Bucks, who have now clinched a playoff spot, as we'll get to them later. But yeah, I mean, the Celtics, obviously, I'm still giving the benefit of doubt, but another week of this, it could drop down. I mean, they got to be better. But yeah, I do believe in the Celtics here, though, still. And then number 1, the Milwaukee Bucks got the dominant player in the NBA, the best player in my opinion, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They are dominant. Going 3-1 this season, as I mentioned, the first team in the NBA to clinch a playoff spot so far. And that's just a great achievement for Milwaukee. And they're going to be trying to push towards the playoffs to get a bid. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video today. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your power rankings. And anyway, peace out.